It's a feeling. It's hard to explain.
It's really hard to explain actually the feeling.
It's a lot of emotions with the fans roaring.
It's the kind of feeling you get when you're doing something that just excites you, that gives you that adrenaline.
It's really exciting, gives you kind of goosebumps.
Oh, it's crazy. It's like pounding in your heart.
Your heart rate will start racing, and when the fans and the atmosphere gets going, it's just like a rush.
That moment there, everything, your blood starts pumping, and you start to get kind of anxious.
There's just a buzz and energy that just is soaring through you and soaring through the fans, and it's like you're one at that very moment.
That moment before the game when the fans just erupt, we play for them.
Finally, we're back home. I think I ran off the list. Orlando preseason, Bradenton, Vancouver, Columbus, Salt Lake City, Chicago, Dallas, Orlando, Philadelphia, Montreal, home. It's been a while.
I'm just counting back to the MLS season opener in Vancouver. It's been 64 days and 8 games in between. And finally, we get to experience Toronto FC football back here in Toronto.
They've turned a page, and so far through that 7-game road trip, they took 9 points. When we started this podcast, we talked about the road trip and how many points, 12, 10, 5, 6, who knows what they would take. It's over now, 9 points. That's a good result for me.
When you're going through a road schedule like that, it's about survival. It's about getting by. 3 victories is good.
I could probably use one word, and I would say a journey. It's a journey. It's a roller coaster, maybe. You got ups and downs. We started with an up, then we went really down and ended with an up, and so it's all about a process.
It is a long season ahead, and of course the road trip will lie ahead for Toronto FC as they continue this mountain to climb before they return home to BMO Field on May 10th.
Yeah, in Salt Lake we were a bit short-handed without a couple players.
Stevie went down the last game, J-Mo had a red card, Zavaleta got hurt, and so our back line's looking kind of shaky.
Ball across for Mulholland. Mulholland opens the scoring for Real Salt Lake completely unmarked. Jackson has equalized for Toronto with just a little over 2 minutes to play.
Felt like we should have got a result and ended up having a heartbreaker there at the end.
And that will probably do it here, barring the unforeseen.
Then we're going to the Windy City, another place that's kind of close to Toronto.
It was a game where I felt that, for not the first time this season, unfortunately, that we kind of beat ourselves.
I would say with 60 minutes into the game, we were like, yes, we have this. And then we have a red card.
Creval, he's going to go. Warren Creval, second yellow, and so it's an automatic red.
It's another dagger to the chest where we feel like, oh man, we let this one go.
Nonetheless, we were learning how we were going to play and how we couldn't play.
Toronto FC's coming off a bye week. There should be fresh legs. They should be able to hit the ground running against a team that will be questioning themselves.
We're coming in, we're feeling good about the week. We think this is a game that we should win, the game that we can win.
The game just did not get off to the right foot.
First half, here's Castillo in behind quickly. Castillo has scored within the first 30 seconds.
It's never what you expected. You never come out thinking, I might get scored on the first minute.
Already in behind again. Might be Castillo looking to bend one. This could be the third goal. Oh, it is the third goal. And it's gone from bad to worse for Toronto FC.
The whole game has changed. You're now chasing a game.
Toronto FC had conceded 3 goals within the first 30 minutes of play, and shortly after that, in the 42nd minute, the referee had blown the whistle due to severe flash flooding and a series of thunder and lightning strikes.
We sat in that room and, everybody was just all we wanted to do was to get back out there to try to redeem ourselves like any other professional would do.
So we had several false starts to try and get this game back on. Then the Lightning returned on several occasions.
We had 3.5 hours to sit there and think about how poorly we played.
I think that's where we really look ourselves in the mirror and say, what's going on? What are we doing? Why aren't we holding this together? And I think everyone had time to just sit there in 3 hours. There wasn't much talking in the locker room, but just to think about who they are, what they mean to this team. And we go out in the second half and we put on a pretty good performance that we're proud of.
Giovinco, who keeps it in well. Giovinco, that's very clever, very pretty goal by Sebastian Giovinco in the 83rd minute. He's taken it, he scored! Oh my word! Perhaps just a glimmer of hope.
I think ever since that moment, I think we're different.
And you kind of had that feeling that we were slowly turning a corner, which then takes us into Orlando.
We're coming into a place that, again, is hard to play against, where they are kind of feeling the pressures as well as we are.
Sunday night soccer, after 4 straight defeats, the home opener can't come quickly enough for Toronto FC.
We have Seba and Josie do what they do, and we have the guys in the back take care of business.
It's in! There was only one thing on his mind.
First of all, I love playing.
Josie Altidore is from Boca Raton, Florida. In fact, he says he's got 40 to 50 friends and family here tonight cheering him on.
It's always special for me because I look up and I see them, and I have flashbacks when I was young, because that's how it was when you're young, right? You go to the park and you look up and you see your whole family there, cheering for you, and that's the feeling I get. So it's always surreal. It's always a great feeling.
Toronto FC have won for only the 2nd time this season.
And then we replicate that again in Philly in a game that they're not doing well, and so we kind of have a little bit of momentum.
And TFC will wind up this 7-game road trip to start the season with a 1-0 win here in Philadelphia.
To go away with 1-0, you really feel like at that point now, you're on the highway, top down, you're feeling good,
No, this is it right here, Jordan, right here, Jordan! Yes!
To now come home and have that reception and have that positive energy, it's fantastic.
It's a building stone. You have a bunch of new guys together, a bunch of new designated players, and you go away for seven weeks. It's a learning lesson.
Being yelled at for 9 straight weeks from other teams' fans is grueling. I remember FC Dallas, there's this woman who's there every game, and she just picks out one player and will yell at them the entire game. You're thinking, well, I'm coming home, I'm gonna have someone cheering for me, cheering for TFC. And I think that's what I'm excited about. The fans, that they just are relentless, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to be excited, and they're going to be for us, and they're not going to be for the other team.
My name's Colin, and got 3 kids, Anna, Andrew, and Ben. It's a fun thing to do, to take my wife and the kids to the games as we can. For me, life is about the experiences I can have with my kids.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm Steven, and we've got some bonus stuff for you and some season tickets for you guys. Hi buddy, how are you?
I'm doing well.
What's your name?
My name's Andrew.
Andrew, I'm Steven. Nice to meet you. I'm Steven.
Anna.
Anna, nice to meet you.
I'm Ben.
Ben, I'm Steven. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
We were here in the house, and the doorbell rang, and the kids ran to see who was at the door, and it was Steven Caldwell. Showed them what we've done downstairs to decorate things up in TFC colors and with scarves and stuff like that, and showed them around.
Some signatures here. Are these old ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. I grew up with Scottish parents. You'd never get a player from Celtic to come into a house and just hang out for half an hour, right? Picked up a little foosball game that
Yeah.
actually had one red team in it, right? So we're like, cool, we gotta pick that up.
Keep
It's gotta
that.
go somewhere, right? Andrew, do you want to challenge someone to a game?
Come on, I'll play you.
Come on.
I'll play you. You're Vancouver though. I'm Toronto.
Not hard enough.
Oh, good defending.
Yeah.
Oh, my goalkeeper. Yes! Right back. The right back scored. Bloomy. Mark Bloomer, Warren Craval. I think it gives you a huge sense of humility and pride really in what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve, and the honour that it is to pull on that strip and represent Toronto FC. It's a real privilege to come here and see how excited they get.
This goalie! Oh! My goalie's a winner too!
Well played. 5-4.
Yep.
What a game.
Yep.
His personality is great. He seems so approachable and real and just a great guy. He's the type of guy that I'd love to go and watch a game with and have a beer and just talk to him for ages.
Thanks guys. See you soon. You're welcome. See you soon. Enjoy the first game. I'll be looking out for you guys.
Yep.
We need the support. We really do.
In any relationship, the good times are yet to come, right? And so we're looking forward to starting the season and seeing what happens.
I'm like Will Smith from
Look, I have more points.
No, I have more points. I'm player 1. Look, I have 1,300 points. You have 7.
You are number 1. Oh.
Would you play the game? Come on.
I'm waiting. I'm more impressed that you can maneuver the Atari joystick.
I actually had an Atari when I was younger.
See, there you go. Advantage.
That's why.
Advantage.
Yeah, I know all the little tricks. I know all the little tricks here.
When we first met, I said, I'm sorry I don't date athletes. He also said, well, I'm more mental. Like my game is mental, not as much athletic. And I go, you're still an athlete. It's athletic. Like you're doing acrobatics trying to save a goal. But he goes, no, it's just as much here as it is the body.
Chris Konopka starts in goal tonight for Toronto FC. It's the first time starting for the Reds, and it's his 3rd start in his career.
They saw Joe go down in the first half of Orlando, and you could tell something wasn't right.
I was at a standstill and a through ball got played, and went from a standstill to a sprint, and as soon as I planted my foot in the ground, I had a partial tear to my plantar fascia. Told at halftime, don't sit still because it'll just tighten up.
I was fortunate enough. Joe played the rest of the game in Orlando, and when we got back up from Orlando earlier in the week, that's when I came to realize that the weekend going into Philadelphia is probably going to be my weekend.
Konopka gets the nod with the young 20-year-old Quillen Roberts backing him up as the number 2 on the bench.
So the stars aligned, and it worked out that my first game for Toronto was actually going to be against my old club.
All I knew is I want to get this clean sheet for Chris. I want his first start for Toronto FC to be worthwhile. I want him to be excited. I want him to remember what this is like.
Perkis, Maidana! Fernando makes the run. Far post. Konopka went out. Still around, still there. No! And then Konopka off the turf, up to punch it over the bar.
To go there and to do whatever it took to get a win was really something else. It was definitely an emotional high for me.
Determination. I appreciate that more than anything, because at the end of the day, life throws you curveballs all the time. If you can be determined enough to push through no matter what life throws at you, I knew that no matter what, if you can handle that, you can enjoy the wonderful moments that life does give you. At the end of the day, if anybody can take anything from what you do, is the fact that if you just keep pushing and working hard, you never know what can happen.
Can I score on myself?
Yeah, do it.
I can.
Yes.
Wow. Own
Oh,
goal.
that's low.
Oh, I don't like those.
It's great to be here. Today is a great day for TFC. I mean, the new BMO Field, the sun's out, shining. The guys are glad to be back. You guys are great. You guys are the best fans in the league. Be loud today. Get pumped. The players are pumped. Help us cheer us on to a victory today. Thanks, guys.
It's pretty special to come here and see just how different it looks, and for this just to be phase one. I've been coming to BMO Field at least once, twice, sometimes 5 times a week for the last 7 or 8 years. And when I walked into here on Friday, when the team was training for the first time, it looked like a different place.
When I was a player, I don't know why, but it always seemed like I had something to prove to your home fans, because they support you so much through the thick and thin. And then when you come home, you really want to give them everything you got.
This will be Damian Perquis's home debut, Jose Altidor's home debut, but they all pale in comparison to what this means for Sebastian Giovinco and the Toronto Italian community.
This is where Sebastian Giovinco, Altidore, Bradley are going to take this game to a whole new level, and with the fan support behind them, this is where we could see the Toronto FC where everybody expects them to be.
It's a 90-minute game today, right? It doesn't have to be won in the first 5 minutes, it doesn't have to be won in the first 10 minutes. It's 90 minutes, you stick together, enjoy the moment, enjoy the crowd, bring them into it, right? Enjoy and play off the energy that they're going to give you today. Get out there, good early start, be aggressive at the start, let's get at them, let's set the tone. They don't want to be here, but we need to make sure that they know they don't deserve to be here. We're coming at them today. Okay, enjoy yourselves, go get them today. Here we go.
Toronto FC's fans have had to wait a long time to see their team in person this year. 7 games on the road to start the season. They return home to BMO Field.
And Josie Altidore, who plays as a battering ram up top, has also been able to find the back of the net on 4 occasions.
Toronto FC in the red, Giovinco and Altidore, 2 off-season additions on their home debut, getting things underway here for a team that has won back-to-back games without conceding a goal at Orlando and Philadelphia. Toronto FC's 9th home opener. They had a record of 5 wins and 3 defeats. This is Will Bruin. Goes off Nick Hagland for a third. Houston corner in the opening 9 minutes. 20 minutes in, no goals for Toronto FC. Michael Bradley turning midway inside the Houston half forward to Josie Altidore, using strength to hold it up and get the shot away. It takes a deflection and goes out for Toronto FC's 2nd corner of the game. Corner to the front post, cleared away by Barnes as the wind picks up around BMO Field. This is the longest Toronto's fans have had to wait for a home opener.
You'd expect them to be full of life, but the tempo of the game just not quick enough for the home side.
Lopez to the path of Beasley, who goes down, penalty. Chris Penso pointing straight to the spot. And 2 minutes before half-time, Houston Dynamo, the penalty save, but the rebound in from Garcia after Konopka had made the first stop.
Let's just see how they line up. I'd like to just play out of the back. We have only stay having one up top.
First of all, we've got to play. We've got to play. It's every time we're looking to hit the final pass, we're not connecting. We're hitting the long ball. We're looking, right? We're the tempo is too slow. We don't open up for each other. We don't look to get the ball down and play. Right? Everything is too much. At some point, we got to get a hold of the ball. We got to try to play. Josie and Robbie, okay. Again, if we go into our set defending, let's turn them to the inside. Don't let them find these outside guys. Let's overplay, turn them into the inside, and overwhelm them with our number, essentially. Okay, the ball hits up in the air, we knock it down, we pick up the second ball. Does it make sense? Back to just some similar tactics we had when we were a little bit better with the ball, and we can be a little bit more aggressive in our defending. Any questions? Right?
Still plenty of time for Toronto FC to find a way back into this game. They haven't really shown enough attacking intent. Giles Barnes trying to cut inside on Hagland. Gets the ball behind the back for Will Bruin, and Houston Dynamo double their lead. Will Bruin with the finish. Toronto FC cut open. Well, a little bit flat inside BMO Field at the moment. High hopes and expectations heading in. Well, Toronto FC needs a spark from somewhere. Jonathan Osorio getting set to come in for Toronto FC as Greg Vanny gets ready to make his first change. They were
were 2 up here last year. Toronto FC in the end, managing to win by 4 goals to 2. Jonathan Osorio scored 1 of them on that day. Here's Jonathan Osorio, the second half substitute, running at Raul Rodriguez. Osorio's ball in, Altidore with a header! Toronto FC given life by Josie Altidore. The deficit cut in half. Time running out here for Toronto FC. Flash of lightning in the distance here. Rain coming down at BMO Field. 12 minutes left to play. Houston Dynamo led by 2 goals to 0. Josie Altidore with a 77th minute goal, his 5th of the season, has given Toronto FC a chance heading into the final moments of this game. Throw players forward, caution to the wind a little bit. Giles Barnes is nursing an injury, certainly not at full strength. After back-to-back wins, Toronto FC will not be able to win a 3rd straight. But the game is over. There won't be time for the corner to be taken, and Toronto FC's home opener ends in a 2-1 defeat.
No excuses. I mean, at the end of the day, we talked about this being our home and being proactive and being the aggressors. We've been on the road for 7 matches and learning as a team how to come home and be on the front foot and be the proactive team. But for me, it's a real lesson for us as to what the expectation is when we come home and play. And as I said to the guys in there, that our fans want us to come out and fight and to come out and be proactive and to be the aggressors and to show that we want to defend this stadium and this field and this city. And today we were way too passive.
We weren't aggressive enough in the first half. We were a bit too direct. I didn't think just too obvious to play against, I thought. You know, I thought we made it easy on the defense in the first half. Second half was better, but again, we had some couple of errors that cost us.
You know, I think it took us a while to get going, but at the end of the day, we have a lot more home games, and seeing the crowd the way it was today, hopefully they got our back, and going forward, it'll be very difficult for any team coming in here to play.
And to be honest, it's what you live for. You play these home games, the stadium's packed, and everybody's going crazy, and we score a goal as a team, and it erupts, and everybody's together. You know, it's why I became a pro. It's why I love it, and it's why we all enjoy our job. It's a feeling that you can't emulate, and you know, we're all blessed to be here.
Next time on All for One.
The family part of it is kind of what kick-started it. But when you actually get out here, you meet so many different people, and you meet the kids who have CF, and they're just fearless.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good? How old are you?
I'm 15.
For my nephew, he's only 11, so it gives you a little bit of hope, and then you see everybody, they're just so positive, and they're so fearless.
We got involved, you know, right away as soon as we could, probably just same as with your nephew, right?
You know, they can just take on anything.